Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly special, wheat pennies. These little copper coins might seem simple at first glance, but some of them are worth a fortune. In today's video, we're going to explore the valuable wheat pennies, their fascinating history, and what makes certain ones so rare and valuable. The 1956 wheat penny might not seem like much at first glance, but to coin collectors, it's a pretty big deal. In fact, some of these pennies are worth a whopping $18,000 or more. Surprising, right? Especially since 1956 isn't exactly a rare year for wheat pennies. But when you dig into what makes the 1956 so valuable, you start to see why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the right specimen. The main thing that sets the 1956 wheat penny apart is something called a double die error. If you're not familiar with it, don't worry, I'll break it down for you. A double die error happens when the die used to stamp the coin's design onto the penny doesn't align properly during the minting process. This causes the design to be stamped twice, leaving behind a faint, doubling effect on certain parts of the coin. On the 1956 wheat penny, you'll most commonly see this doubling in the date, particularly the number 5 in the year 1956, as well as in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust on the front obverse of the coin. Now, the doubling isn't always super obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, but other times it can be pretty clear. The more pronounced the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. That's why collectors go wild over these pennies when they spot the double die error. They're looking for that extra detail that makes a coin stand out from the rest. The cool thing is, even a slight doubling can make the coin worth a lot more than a typical 1956 wheat penny. Identifying a double die error on a 1956 wheat penny isn't always as easy as it sounds, though. If you don't know what you're looking for, you could easily miss it. A normal 1956 penny will have clean, sharp details, but one with the double die error will have areas that look like the design was stamped twice. It's most noticeable around the 5 in the year and the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. To spot the error, you'll want to examine the coin closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. The doubling can be faint, but once you know what to look for, you'll be able to spot it more easily. But here's the kicker, even if you don't find a 1956 wheat penny with the double die error, the coin can still be worth more than face value if it's in great condition. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Think of it like a vintage baseball card. If it's in mint condition, it's worth a lot more than one that's been sitting in a box for years, getting scratched and worn. The same goes for coins. A penny that's in perfect condition, with sharp, clean details and no wear, will always be worth more than one that's been in circulation for decades and shows signs of age. For a 1956 wheat penny, collectors are looking for coins with little to no wear, minimal tarnishing, and well-defined features. A well-preserved coin is a rare find, and the more pristine it is, the higher the price tag. So, even without the double die error, if the coin is in near-perfect shape, it can still command a pretty penny, pun intended. The thing that makes the 1956 wheat penny even more interesting is that, despite the fact that millions of pennies were minted that year, only a small fraction of them were struck with the double die error, and even fewer survived in great condition. That's what really drives up the value of these coins. While most pennies from 1956 might be easy to find, the ones that are in excellent condition or have the double die error are much rarer. And when something's rare, people are willing to pay a lot more to get their hands on it. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these 1956 wheat pennies, it's definitely worth taking the time to carefully examine it. Check the date to see if the numbers are doubled, especially the 5 in 1956. Then, look closely at the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot any doubling in these areas, you might have found a gem. But let's say you don't see any doubling. That doesn't mean the coin isn't valuable. Even without the error, a 1956 in great condition can still be worth a good amount, as long as it's well preserved. The key is to look for coins that have been carefully kept, without too much wear or damage. Coins that have been stored in a way that protects them from tarnish, scratches, or dirt are always in demand. Collectors are constantly looking for well-maintained coins, and a 1956 D wheat penny in top condition can still bring in a significant amount of money. Now, if you're wondering how you can figure out if your coin is actually valuable, here's a little tip: get it appraised by a professional. A coin dealer or numismatist can help you determine if your 1956 D wheat penny has the double die error and give you an idea of its worth based on its condition. Sometimes, a coin that looks perfectly fine to the naked eye can still have a minting error that increases its value. So it's always worth getting an expert opinion if you're unsure. At the end of the day, the 1956 D wheat penny is a great example of how something that seems ordinary can become extraordinary in the world of coin collecting. Even though it's from a year when millions of pennies were made, the combination of a rare minting error and a coin's condition can make it incredibly valuable. The 1956 D is one of those coins that reminds us that rarity, condition, and timing can all come together to turn a seemingly common penny into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. The 1952 D wheat penny, which can be worth up to $9,775, has become a prized coin for collectors. You might be wondering why this particular penny, minted in 1952, holds such significant value. The answer lies in its condition. While the 1952 D wheat penny was minted in large quantities, meaning it's not rare in terms of production numbers, the scarcity comes from how few have survived in excellent condition. Over time, many 1952 D pennies were circulated widely, leading to heavy wear and tear. Pennies are often used and handled for years, causing them to get scratched, discolored, and worn down. Most of the pennies that were in circulation for decades have been significantly damaged. So, when one survives in pristine condition, it becomes highly desirable to collectors. The true value of a 1952 D wheat penny comes from how well it has been preserved. A penny that's free from scratches, discoloration, or signs of heavy use is relatively rare. Because of this, coins that have remained in great shape are highly sought after, sometimes fetching thousands of dollars. A 1952 D penny that has been kept in near-perfect condition can command a price as high as $9,775, particularly if it's been graded well by a coin grading service. One of the most important aspects that collectors look for when evaluating a 1952 D wheat penny is the sharpness of the design details. These coins feature a design with wheat stalks on the reverse side, and it's important that the wheat stalks are distinct and well-defined. The clearer these features are, the more valuable the coin will be. Also, the date should be easily visible, with no fading or smudging that can make it hard to read. The sharper the details, the higher the potential value. The overall condition of the coin is crucial. A coin that has been worn down over time, with faded features and scratches, won't fetch as much as one that retains most of its original crispness. In particular, collectors care about the state of Lincoln's profile, which should be as close to its original detail as possible. Coins with minimal wear on Lincoln's image are more appealing, and those with a clean, sharp design are even more coveted. It's the coins that exhibit the least wear and tear that command top dollar. If the 1952 D wheat penny shows no signs of discoloration or damage, it's considered in mint condition. Coins that have survived decades without much wear are incredibly rare, and in some cases, these can be graded as MS 65 or higher. These grades indicate the coin is almost perfect, showing no obvious signs of wear or damage. A coin graded at MS 65 or better can easily fetch thousands of dollars due to its rarity and pristine state. The rarity of the 1952 D in such fine condition makes it an exciting find for collectors. While most 1952 D pennies you come across might only be worth a few cents, the ones that are well preserved and graded highly are treasures that can be worth much more. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting to learn about numismatics, understanding the importance of preservation is key when it comes to evaluating the value of a coin like this. Another factor that adds to the allure of the 1952 D wheat penny is its historical significance. The wheat penny design, which featured a pair of wheat stalks on the reverse side, was a staple of U.S. currency for many years. The 1952 D represents one of the final years of this iconic design, as the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design later in 1959. For collectors who appreciate the history behind American coins, the 1952 D wheat penny holds a special place as one of the last coins to feature the classic wheat design. Coins from this time period also carry a certain nostalgia, evoking a sense of the past when the penny had a different appearance and significance. The wheat penny was in circulation for over 50 years, and its design has come to symbolize an era in American history. As one of the last coins to feature this familiar design, the 1952 D wheat penny serves as a reminder of a different time in U.S. currency, which only adds to its value for collectors who enjoy looking back at older coinage. While the 1952 D wheat penny isn't as rare as some other coins, its value is driven largely by its condition and the fact that so few examples remain in excellent shape. When you look at a well-preserved 1952 D penny, you're seeing more than just a piece of currency, you're looking at a historical artifact that has stood the test of time. Whether it's the sharpness of the wheat stalks on the reverse side, the crispness of Lincoln's profile, or simply the lack of wear, each detail plays a role in the coin's overall appeal. For those lucky enough to come across a 1952 D wheat penny in excellent condition, it can be a thrilling experience. However, it's important to keep in mind that just because a penny is a 1952 D doesn't automatically make it valuable. It's all about the preservation. If the coin has been through years of circulation, it may not be worth much more than its face value. But if it has remained in pristine condition, it could be worth a significant sum. The 1950 D wheat penny is a fascinating and highly valuable coin in the wheat penny series, with a value of around $10,800 as of 2021. This coin's high price is the result of a combination of factors, including its limited availability in high-grade condition, its historical significance, and the increasing demand from collectors. To fully appreciate why this penny is so sought after, it's important to understand the background, minting process, and what makes well-preserved examples so rare and valuable. The 1950 D wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is where the D mint mark comes from. During the 1950s, many pennies were produced in large numbers, but the 1950 D stands out because high-quality examples are quite rare. The minting process at the time wasn't as precise as it is today, and many of these coins were poorly struck, leading to weak details. This issue is particularly noticeable on the reverse side, where the wheat stalks are located. Weak strikes left the details poorly defined, making it harder for collectors to find well-struck examples. Over the years, most 1950 D pennies were circulated, meaning they became worn down and lost much of their original sharpness. With significant wear from everyday use, finding a 1950 D in excellent condition became increasingly rare. This scarcity is what makes the 1950 D wheat penny so valuable today. Coins that have survived in mint condition, with a sharp strike and minimal wear, are highly coveted by collectors. One of the most important aspects that collectors focus on is the coin's condition. The value of a 1950 D wheat penny depends heavily on how well it has been preserved. The better the strike, the less wear it shows, and the clearer the design details, the more valuable the coin becomes. A well-preserved 1950 D penny shows off its design in bold, crisp detail, which was not common for pennies of this era. The reverse, in particular, is where the wheat stalks should be well defined. If the stalks are clear and free from wear, the coin's value increases dramatically. The 1950 D wheat penny has steadily risen in value over the years, with its price reaching about $10,800 in 2021. This rise can be attributed to a number of factors. First, collectors have come to realize how rare high-quality examples of the 1950 D are. Second, as the number of well-preserved 1950 D pennies continues to decline, demand for these coins has only increased. Collectors are looking for examples that retain their original detail and have been well maintained over the years. As a result, the 1950 D has become a coveted coin in the world of numismatics, with collectors willing to pay premium prices for those in excellent condition. While the 1950 D wheat penny may have been struck in large quantities, the fact that most of them have been heavily circulated means that very few examples are still in pristine condition. This rarity drives up the price. It's important to note that even if your 1950 wheat penny doesn't fetch the full $10,800, it could still be worth a significant amount depending on its condition. The better the coin's preservation, the higher its potential value. The historical significance of the 1950 wheat penny also adds to its appeal. The wheat penny design, which features the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse side, was a staple of U.S. currency for over half a century. The 1950 is one of the later years of the wheat penny series before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. As one of the final coins to feature the wheat penny design, the 1950 holds a special place in the history of U.S. coinage. This connection to the past makes the coin more valuable to collectors who appreciate the historical context behind the series. For collectors, the 1950 wheat penny represents more than just a piece of currency, it's a link to a bygone era. Coins from this time period evoke a sense of nostalgia, and the 1950 as one of the last wheat pennies to be produced, holds a certain charm for those interested in collecting historical U.S. coins. As such, it's not just the rarity or condition of the coin that makes it valuable, but also its role in the larger story of American currency. To sum up, the value of the 1950 wheat penny is primarily driven by its condition, rarity, and historical significance. Coins that have been well preserved and retain their sharp details are highly valued by collectors. The reverse side, with its distinct wheat stalks, is especially important, and coins with clear, defined features fetch the highest prices. The fact that the 1950 was struck in large numbers only to be circulated heavily over time means that high-grade examples are incredibly rare, making them even more valuable. The rise in value of the 1950 wheat penny is a clear indication that collectors recognize its significance. As more people become aware of the coin's rarity, the demand for well-preserved examples continues to grow. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to numismatics, the 1950 wheat penny offers a compelling example of how condition, rarity, and history combine to determine a coin's value. If you ever come across one of these coins, it's definitely worth taking a closer look, as you might have a hidden treasure on your hands. The 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is a highly valuable and sought-after coin, potentially worth up to $14,950 depending on its condition. But what makes this particular penny so special? To understand its value, we need to dive into a few key factors: the coin's minting location, its condition, and any potential minting errors that may have occurred during production. First, let's talk about the minting location. The 1946 no-mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is significant because coins minted in Philadelphia typically do not carry a mint mark. This differentiates them from pennies minted in other locations, like Denver, or San Francisco, both of which feature a mint mark to indicate their place of origin. Because of this, the absence of a mint mark is a key feature of coins produced in Philadelphia, and it can impact their value depending on the year and condition. While 1946 pennies were produced in relatively high numbers, the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny stands out due to its condition and rarity. The coin's mintage was high compared to other years, meaning that many were circulated and became worn over time. This makes well-preserved examples, especially those without any noticeable wear or damage, far more valuable. The key to the 1946 no-mint mark penny's high value is the difficulty in finding one in excellent condition, as very few have survived in near-mint or mint condition. Condition plays a vital role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1946 no-mint mark penny is no exception. A penny that has been well maintained with sharp, clear details and minimal signs of wear will always fetch a higher price than one that's been heavily circulated and shows damage. For example, the reverse of the coin, which features 2 ears of wheat, should have crisp and well-defined stalks. Likewise, the date should be clear and easy to read, with no significant fading. If the penny you find is in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $14,950. What sets this coin apart from others is its rarity in mint condition. Most 1946 pennies were circulated, meaning most coins show some signs of wear. Finding one in perfect condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections, makes the 1946 no-mint mark penny a rare and highly valuable find. Because of its limited availability in pristine form, well-preserved examples are highly coveted by collectors, contributing to its high price tag. In addition to condition, another factor that can make a 1946 no-mint mark penny even more valuable is the possibility of minting errors. While not as common as errors seen on other years, some 1946 pennies feature mistakes that occurred during the minting process. These errors include things like double dies, where the design appears twice, or misalignments, where the design is off-center. Collectors who specialize in error coins are particularly interested in these rarities, and such mistakes can dramatically increase the value of a coin. If you come across a 1946 no-mint mark penny with a noticeable minting error, it could be worth even more than a perfectly preserved example without an error. Aside from the technical aspects of condition and errors, the historical significance of the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny also plays a role in its appeal. 1946 marked the first year after World War II, and the coin symbolizes a time of transition in the United States. Collectors who are interested in coins from this post-war era often seek out these pennies for their historical value. The fact that it was one of the last coins in the wheat penny series, before the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, gives it additional appeal for those looking to collect pieces of American numismatic history. To identify a 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny, it's important to recognize the basic features of the coin. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and the reverse shows 2 stalks of wheat. The key characteristic that distinguishes the Philadelphia minted coins from others is the lack of a mint mark on the reverse side. If you find a 1946 penny with a mint mark, it means the coin was minted in Denver or San Francisco, and it will not have the same value as the no-mint mark version. Coin grading also plays a crucial role in determining the value of the 1946 no-mint mark penny. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS, 70, with the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny in mint state, MS, 65 or higher, can be worth significantly more than one with visible wear. A high-grade coin that retains its sharp details and luster will always command a higher price. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny may not be the first coin that comes to mind when you think of rare or valuable pennies, but it certainly has a place in the hearts of collectors and numismatists. What makes this penny stand out is not only its unique historical context but also its rarity in top condition. While many 1941 wheat pennies were struck, the ones without a mint mark, produced in Philadelphia, are especially valuable when found in mint or near mint condition, with some selling for as much as $9,500. To understand why this penny is so valuable, it's important to dive into its history and characteristics. The wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, was first introduced in 1909. The coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. These coins were a staple in everyday transactions for decades, with millions minted each year. By 1941, the penny had been in circulation for more than 30 years, and the U.S. was about to enter World War II. Most of the 1941 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and these coins do not feature a mint mark. For context, mint marks were used to indicate which mint produced the coin, but Philadelphia coins generally didn't include one. At first glance, the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny might not seem like anything special, but the true value comes when you look at the condition of the coin and the rarity of well-preserved examples. The majority of 1941 pennies were heavily circulated. This means that most of them show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, and flattening of details. Because these pennies were used in everyday transactions, finding one that has been preserved in nearly perfect condition is rare. A coin in top condition, graded MS 65 or higher, can fetch a high price at auction, sometimes up to $9,500 or more. Grading is a crucial part of the coin world. Coins are graded based on their condition, and this affects their value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A coin that is graded MS 65, mint state 65, is considered to be in excellent condition, showing little to no wear. When a 1941 no-mintmark wheat penny is graded MS65 or higher, it is considered an exceptional find. These high-grade coins are much more rare than those in lower grades, which makes them more valuable. The 1941 no-mintmark penny isn't just rare because of its condition, it's also valuable because of its historical significance. The coin was minted during a time when the world was on the brink of massive change. The United States was preparing for its entry into World War II, and the economy was shifting as wartime production began to ramp up. For collectors, a coin from this era is a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history. The value of these high-grade 1941 no-mintmark pennies is also driven by collector demand. As with any rare item, when demand is high and supply is limited, prices naturally rise. Only a small number of these pennies have survived in pristine condition, which means that collectors who are searching for the best examples are willing to pay top dollar. This demand is what drives the value of a well-preserved 1941 penny to the thousands of dollars range. It's also important to note that these coins are often sold at auction, where collectors bid against each other to secure the coin they've been seeking. The excitement surrounding these auctions can further push up the price, especially if the coin is part of a collection with notable provenance or has a special history behind it. Provenance, or the coin's ownership history, can add an extra layer of value, especially if it comes from a renowned collection or has been documented over the years. For the average collector, owning a 1941 no-mintmark wheat penny in excellent condition can be a dream come true. These coins aren't the easiest to find, and those that do turn up in top shape are often kept in private collections or sold through specialized dealers. However, they do pop up from time to time, particularly in online auctions, and when they do, they attract serious attention. In the end, the 1941 no-mintmark wheat penny is an example of how rarity, condition, and historical context can come together to make a seemingly ordinary coin extraordinarily valuable. A penny that was once used for simple transactions now holds the potential to fetch up to $9,500 if it has been well preserved. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, the 1941 no-mintmark penny serves as a reminder of how even the most common coins can become treasures when the right circumstances align. The top 5 wheat pennies are highly coveted for their rarity, historical significance, and exceptional condition. These coins stand out due to limited mintages, unique errors, and their place in American history. Collectors seek them for their value, often paying substantial sums, making these pennies iconic in numismatics and prized additions to any collection.